is our duty to pay for the liberty with our own blood. The freedom which we shall win through sacrifice and exertion, we shall be able to preserve it with our own strength. Quoting these daring words of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, I am delighted to take this opportunity to unveil the purpose of our gathering today. This isn't just a day for celebration, rather a day to recall the freedom fighters of our nation and to pay our tribute to their immeasurable victimage under the clutches of British. On behalf of the entire DAV family, I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart to this 73rd Republic Day celebration in DAV BHL School, Ranipet. This is yet another year of our survival in this pandemic. Could this still occlude our confrontation from doing anything wonderful again? Never. And that has brought us into your space in sharing this remarkable day again virtually. With due respect, let me do the honors by venerating our dignitaries without whom this day would not have been transpired. I am deeply honored to welcome our chief guest, Sri MVSN Raju, AGM HR BHEL Ranipet. I am privileged to welcome our management of DAV Group of Schools, our highly revered Principal, Mr. Karupaiya Sir, our eminent Headmistress, Ms. Chitra K. Natarajan Madam. I cordially welcome lovable parents, my dear teachers, my beloved friends, and others to this fortunate virtual Republic Day celebration at DAV BHEL School, Ranipet.
The tribute will always be less for our freedom fighters, but the salute will never be less. As a tradition, let us unwind our national flag in this occasion. May I now request our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri MVSN Raju, AGM HR, BHL BAP Ranipet, to unfurl the flag. Sir, please.
School, attention. Light, salute. Order.
Thank you, sir.
Let us honor our roaring national flag with a song. Hereupon, I call our choir to sing the flag song.
தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே, தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே, அதை தாழ்ந்து பணிந்து புகழ்ந்திட வாரீர். தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே, ஓங்கி வளர்ந்ததோர் கம்பம், அதன் உச்சியின் மேல் வந்தே மாதரம் என்றே பாங்கின் எழுதி திகழும் செய்ய பட்டொலி வீசி பறந்தது பாரே. தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே, கம்பத்தின் கீழ் நீச்சல் காணீர், எங்கும் காணரும் வீரர் பெருந்திரு கூட்டம், நம்பர்க்குரிய அவ்வீரர் தங்கள் நல்லுயிரீந்தும் கொடியினை காப்பார். தாயின் மணிக்கொடி பாரே, சேர்ந்ததை காப்பது காணீர், அவர் சிந்தையின் வீர
Now, I would love to call our beloved principal, Mr. M. Karpaya sir, to welcome the chief guest of the day, Mr. M.S.V.N. Raju, HR, AGM, BHCL BAP Ranipet. Sir, please.
Namaste to all. I am extremely privileged to have this opportunity to welcome you all on this momentous occasion of 73rd Republic Day celebrations at our school DAV BHL School, Ranipet. Under the guidance and guardianship of Srimati Parmila Gauhar, Vice President, Tamil Nadu Arya Samaj Educational Society, Sri Vijay Kumar Gauhar, Convener, DAV BHL School, Ranipet, Sri Vikas Arya, Secretary, DAV Group of Schools, Sri Atul Nangia, Joint Secretary, Tamil Nadu Arya Samaj Educational Society, and Financial Controller, DAV BHL School, Ranipet, and Srimati Shanti Ashokan, Director, Education and Innovation. We start this Republic Day celebrations here at our school with pomp and gaiety. I cordially, respectfully welcome our chief guest, Sri MVS and Raju, AGM, Head HR, BHL BAP, Ranipet. Sri MVS and Raju was born and educated in Visakhapatnam. He has 2 bachelor's degree, one in science, the other one in law. Securing 3rd rank in Andhra University, he completed his post-graduation in Human Resources Management in 1994. Before joining BHL, he set up an ancillary industry to Visakhapatnam steel plant for supply of casting powder. He has been serving in BHL for 26 years, and before joining BHL BAP, in November 21, he had successful stints at 3 BHL units, BHL Bangalore, Lucknow, and Electronic Division of Bangalore. He has also held various positions as Central Public Information Officer, Public Grievance Officer, and Estate Officer during his tenure in BHL. Presently, he is heading the HR, Legal and Security functions at BHL BAP Ranipet. Warm welcome, you sir. And with immense pleasure, we welcome our beloved parents. We do cherish your partnership and collaboration in all our endeavors. We treasure your love, concern, and confidence towards our institution always. I would like to welcome headmisters, our beloved teachers, supporting staff, office staff, and students who are an integral part of this institution. I request you all for kind cooperation throughout this program and making it a grand success. I wish you all Happy Republic Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. How honored am I to welcome Sri MVSN Raju, AGM, Head HR, BHL, BAP, Ranipet, to address the distinguished gathering. So please.
Respected Principal Mr. Karupaya, DAV faculty, DAV staff, dear parents and my dear children, very happy Republic Day to all of you. As we all know, we are celebrating the 73rd Republic Day, and I know it's not the usual Republic Day what we used to celebrate earlier. The same thing we are also following at 9 o'clock. If you some of you come there, it is a very restricted celebration this time, and rightfully so, because we all know that we are in the 3rd wave, hopefully the fading end of the 3rd wave. We had an official record of 66 people in the start of the week. Luckily it has come down to 2 in the factory, I think it's the same case here, scenario here also. This wave is ending, and hopefully this will be the last wave, and then we'll get back to our normal life shortly, and we'll see the splendor and all of these sort of functions, what we saw at the national level as well as the state level as well as at the state, at the schools also. What you have done is, I think, appropriate for this occasion, because sometimes we really have to wait for good times to come. It's better not to sacrifice our lives and our health. So I want to thank the DAV school authorities for inviting me here. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you here. And it's better we remember all these sort of days, because in case we don't celebrate Republic Day, then the concept of basic rights, constitution and all will not be known to the youngsters. So that is the reason why we celebrate this. And so basically we don't lose sight of our democracy, the rich heritage of our country. I'm so elated to see young children so early in the morning who came here. After this program is over, you please go and watch the national live telecast of the Republic Day parade, how beautiful it is. Because we can say so many words about our nation, about our rich cultural heritage, the diversity, the unity. But the thing is, unless you see it with your own eyes, you will not be able to realize the beauty of this. So please watch the national live telecast of the Republic Day today. You will be knowing about the different cultures, different languages, the cuisines of this great country. So I wish, to compulsory go and watch the Republic Day live telecast today, especially the children, because I don't know whether you would have watched earlier. Well, we have been watching this right from our childhood. So it's also a time today that we remember not only the soldiers who are protecting us, but especially the last couple of years, the efforts and the time and the sacrifices of our doctors, our nurses and the paramedical staff. So some of us are alive today because of them, frankly speaking, because we have come across many sad stories of our colleagues, our seniors, sometimes juniors leaving us, unfortunately. So, but for the efforts of these doctors and these nurses, paramedical staff, they have really given most of us a second life. So I think it's appropriate that we remember them today. Apart from the soldiers who are always there for our nation, protecting us from our enemies. And so I hope this is the last year of the last wave. The third wave will be the last for us. And even though the country has been massively hit by this COVID, what is very cheerful is yesterday I saw the news, and the economic growth is predicted at a higher rate compared to China and US also. So that growth is all dependent on us. We have to see how fast we get up on our feet and then contribute to the nation. I'm sure all of us will do. What I see here is the future of our country, and it is good and it is safe, I'm sure, and it is we are going to see exponential growth in this country. So children, what I request you is don't be disappointed with what is going on around the country as far as the health thing is concerned. It's a matter of the past, I would say. So let's all of us, wherever we are at, whatever levels we are, in the schools, in the factories, maybe in the government, all of us know if we are contributing our part and then we come back in a normal world. So definitely the future is ours, and let's try to continue to protect the basic rights which are enshrined in our constitution. And I wish you all, the faculty here and you, a very happy Republic Day once again, and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
How honored am I to welcome Shri Atul Nangia ji, Joint Secretary, TNA SCS, Chennai, and Financial Controller, DAV BHL School, Ranipet, to address the distinguished gathering.
Namaste. On the occasion of our 73rd Republic Day, I would like to extend a warm welcome to one and all present here. Today, serves as a reminder of India's struggle for freedom, and it is on this day in the year 1930 that we first raised the slogan of Purna Swaraj. Subsequently, 20 years later, we adopted our constitution in 1950, declaring ourselves a democratic, secular, socialistic republic. This day is symbolic of the year of struggle after which India emerged as a free country, in which every citizen has key rights: the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and the right to constitutional remedies. Along with rights, citizens have certain responsibilities as well. We are expected to fulfill the duties of a citizen first before claiming our rights. Students have been given the right to education, but also have the duty to learn, understand, and study consistently and sincerely. This year in particular has been dedicated to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was an Indian nationalist whose defiance of British authority made him a hero among Indians. He believed that one individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself into 1,000 lives. He firmly propagated the fact that freedom is not given, it is taken. He also urged the countrymen saying, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom." In India, Arya Samaj was one of the forerunners in developing a sense of patriotism in Indians and inspired numerous leaders such as Lala Lajpat Rai, Shahid Bhagat Singh, Veer Savarkar, Ram Prasad Bismil, Bhai Parmanand, and several others who gave up their lives in the service of our country. DAV as an institution has been inspired by the teachings of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Believes that we must protect this precious freedom and take our country to greater heights. It is imperative to mention here that the school offers a course to aid students in enrolling in the National Defence Academy. Another noteworthy step taken recently is the releasing of the official calendar of the Navy and the Air Force free of cost to our students. Scholarship for students who aspire to serve in the Indian Administrative Service has also been initiated. NCC and Scout training is encouraged to bring about a patriotic fervor among students at the school level. Our books on promoting value among students, that is fostering Vedic values, also incorporates the life of some of our national heroes like Captain Vikram Batra, who fought the Kargil War so courageously. The school culture holds the armed forces and their selfless service to the nation in high esteem. Today, India is the largest democracy and the second most populous nation in the world. India is the world's sixth largest economy, and it is estimated by 2030, India will remain a relatively young nation with a median age of 31 years and will have added more working age citizens to the world than any other nation. Therefore, to ensure the country's envisioned income growth and consumption growth, massive efforts will be required to right skill and reskill both our current and future workforce. The education system has currently shifted to gaining conceptual knowledge rather than tangible skills, which ensures employability. The National Education Policy 2020 insists on vocational training and developing skills from the school level. Health is wealth, and every country must ensure the well-being of its citizens. We need to ensure good hygiene and medical care are available to all citizens of the country. As India marches forward, it faces new challenges in health and sustainable living. Our cities are gripping with an alarming rate of congestion and pollution. This, together with an unhealthy population, could significantly dampen the benefits of India's demographic dividend and urban growth and lead to a deterioration in the quality of the life of citizens. Two key challenges must be solved to improve the quality of health. First, we need to work towards improving overall health access to every citizen and affordability of healthcare services to all. Second, the impending crisis in air-water pollution, waste management, and urban congestion must be urgently solved. Climate changes due to pollution and urbanization are taking a heavy toll on our country. India has 9 of the 10 world's most polluted cities, including our capital, New Delhi. As the country enters a new era of envisioned growth, now is the time for all Indians to come together as one and address the most pressing societal challenges facing the country today. Collaborative efforts can unlock the full potential of a young, progressive and dynamic nation and establish India as a model for the world's fast-growing consumer market. It is time for Indians to come together and help India become self-sufficient. We need to live a life with pride and dignity and be self-reliant in all spheres. The Atmanirbhar Abhiyan by our government is a commendable step in this regard. The economic crisis triggered by the coronavirus pandemic gave birth to this Abhiyan. It echoes some of the features of the Swadeshi movement. Let us value our freedom and pledge to ensure that we take our much revered country to greater heights. I would like to conclude with a quote from Mark Twain. India is the cradle of human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Jai Hind.
That was very insightful on this great day of our nation. We thank you deeply, sir.
Now I am delighted to call upon Distinguished Mahesh Sir, Subject Head of Science Department, into the August gathering.
Namaste to all. Indians fought for years to get their freedom and rights. The long struggle came to an end in the year 1947. A new government led by Indians were formed. But what would have made people to believe that this new government will not clip off their rights and freedom? See, when foreign government ruled the nation, people were not having the rights to speak and even think. So, what would have given these people a hope that this new government will also not do so? So, 3 things were mandatory: democracy, republic, and constitution. Democracy is the system of government where people are given the right to choose their leaders. Republic is the system of government where the leader of the nation is not a monarch. Constitution is the rule book that defines the power of a government and also the rights of the people. Well, what's the necessity of this rule book? Just take for an instant a cricket match, maybe this ongoing India versus South Africa ODI series. Imagine every player follow his own rule. Say, for example, a player gets out and he says, it's not out, this is 6. Would it be fair to play? Or would it be good enough to watch? It won't be, right? So there must be certain set of rules and players must abide by those rules. Just for the sake of a game that involves 20 odd people needs a rule book. Won't this nation need a rule book? Such a rule book is Constitution. On this day in 1950, this powerful constitution came into existence and India became democratic republic nation. My dear children, this is the story that every Indian will know. But what is our responsibility in this? I wish to emphasize on 2 things. Number 1, follow the rules laid by the government and do your duties sincerely. For example, government says follow the SOPs in this pandemic, and it is our duty to follow those rules. For that instant, we have online classes now, right? So you are given the freedom to attend the classes from home, but there are certain rules to be followed. For example, turn on your video, be in uniform, be interactive in the class, and it's our duty to follow those rules and regulations. Remember, freedom without rules is dangerous. So follow the rules. That's the first thing that I want to say. Number 2, get the enlightenment of patriotism. What is enlightenment of patriotism? Once there was a fiery youth by name Narendranath Datta. He went to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and asked, people are always talking about you, and I see you are always talking about God. Could you prove the existence of God? Paramahamsa smiled and said, well, I am the proof. This unconvinced Narendranath Datta was asking, could you make me experience it? Well, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, my dear young boy, if you have the courage to experience, just come and sit in front of me. Courageous and fiery youth, Narendranath Datta came and sat in front of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa lifted his feet and placed it over the chest of Narendranath. My dear children, that was the moment an ordinary youth, Narendranath Datta, got enlightenment and became Swami Vivekananda. Nobody knew who Narendranath Datta was, but everybody knows who Swami Vivekananda is. So enlightenment is very important. I wish we all get the enlightenment of patriotism. Patriotism is not just loving our nation. Patriotism is to love each and every life in this nation, to treat each and every life equally in this nation. Love is the most powerful weapon to spread patriotism. For example, we say, I love Mahatma Gandhi. I love Abdul Kalam. Even people say, I love MS Dhoni, right? But have we even met them in our life? No. We won't. Because love is not confined to someone whom we just see daily. Love is unconditional. Let us spread that love. And that's the best way to spread patriotism. And that's the best way, of course, to get enlightenment of patriotism. My dear children, let us follow all the rules sincerely and to the very letter. And let us all get the enlightenment of patriotism and make our national flag fly high forever. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your commendable words which are disseminating good vibes into the gathering.
Let us add colors to the occasion by calling Master Kanish Kumar B of class 12 to deliver a speech in English.
Namaste all. A very good morning to everyone who's present over here on this promising occasion of 73rd Republic Day. This is a day overwhelming with patriotism, and let us reaffirm our commitment to unity in diversity and fraternity. As the day dawns, the feeling of gratitude awakens in the mind of every Indian citizen. Republic Day is celebrated to remember the historic moment when our nation became republic. As we all know that India got its independence on 15th August 1947. But the country didn't have its own constitution. Instead, it was governed by the laws implemented by the British. However, after many amendments and deliberations, a committee headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar submitted a draft of Indian Constitution which was adopted on 26 November 1949 and officially came into the effect on 26 January 1950. On this platinum jubilee of our independence, each and every citizen of India should know all the untold incidents of freedom struggle. I hope that no matter who we are, a rich or a poor, a powerful politician or an ignorant citizen, we all continue to respect our basic principles and values given to us by our amazing constitution. As we move forward to build this nation, let us not forget or leave behind the foundation on which the country was built. Once when Dr. Kalam was asked, what is the greatest strength and the weakness of India? Do you know what he answered? He answered, the youth. Yes, 229 million youth people of our nation is the greatest strength, and the weakness of our India is the lack of vision. Because a nation dies without a proper vision, and I think vision is the only quality lacking in today's younger generation. So what can we do? The only thing the youth of India can do today is that to inculcate and work upon all the commendable qualities that already existed in our forefathers. So let's dream big. Today, India has a very prestigious position in the world map, and it is the duty of our youth to maintain it and take our country to the greater heights. Today's celebration brings a trust of deal with all those freedom fighters and the soldiers who have sacrificed their valuable life for the betterment of our nation. At this hour of remembrance, let us pay our heartiest tributes to the soldiers who are still doing on the border to continue this freedom. This day gives the message of solidarity, equality and harmony. So let's remember our cultural heritage and be proud that we all are part of ethno-linguistically diverse Indian subcontinent. Let us be grateful to our forefathers for giving us such a beautiful, free nation. I would end my work with a quote, Janatandra ka maan hai Ganatandra. Janatandra ka maan hai Ganatandra. Hamare Samvidhan ki.
It was delivered wonderfully. Thank you. Coming up next is a special patriotic song in Malayalam, and I call upon the singers.
Janmakarini Bharatam Karmamedini Bharatam Janmakarini Bharatam Karmamedini Bharatam Nammala Janakodigal Ammayagiya Bharatam Janmakarini Bharatam Karmamedini Bharatam Thalayil manyani mamala choodiya thanga kireedavum Udalil sashashamala sharpala komala kanjugavum Thalayil manyani mamala choodiya thanga kireedavum Udalil sashashamala sharpala komala kanjugavum കഴുത്തിലാനാ നദികൾ ചാർത്തിയ പൊന്മണിമാലകളും കാണുക കാണുക ജന്മഭൂമി കോമലമലമേണി ജന്മകാരിണി ഭാരതം കർമ്മമേദിനി ഭാരതം നാനാഭാഷകളമൃതം പൊഴിയും നാവും പുഞ്ചിരിയും നാനാ ദേശക്കാരുടെ നാനാവേഷത്തിനൊലിയും നാനാഭാഷകളമൃതം പൊഴിയും നാവും പുഞ്ചിരിയും നാനാ ദേശക്കാരുടെ നാനാവേഷത്തിനൊലിയും വീരപുരാതന സംസ്കാരത്തിൽ വേരോടും മണ്ണും പാരിൽ ശാന്തി വളർത്തും മൃത്യും അമ്മ തന്നേട്ടം ജന്മകാരിണി ഭാരതം കർമ്മമേദിനി ഭാരതം കർമ്മമേദിനി ഭാരതം കർമ്മമേദിനി ഭാരതം.
Hasn't it been a scintillating performance by students? Thanks, girls.
The next would be a talk show on growth of industries by our students of class 10. The speakers will trace the growth of industries from pre-colonialism period to modern period and highlight the richness of our culture. The speakers are Veda Harish, VP of class 10A, Kushal S of class 10B, Sanjana Devi of class 10C, Subhashri of class 10A and Dashni of class 10C.
Namaste and good morning to our principal sir, headmistress ma'am, respected teachers and my dear friends. Today we have gathered here to celebrate the 73rd Republic Day. On this occasion, let's have a small discussion on the role of industries in our lives. Our handicrafts were world famous. Our textile industry had a place of pride not only in India but also in the entire world. The first ever cotton textile industry was established in Mumbai in 1854. Later, jute mill was established in Rishra near Kolkata in 1855. So dear friends, today I, Dashni of 10C, take this opportunity to introduce the members of this talk show. On my right I have Kushal of 10B, Sanjana Devi of 10C, but on my left I have Subhashri of 10A and Veda Harish of 10A. Welcome friends. Let us embark on this journey with Kushal, who will give us an idea of the industries which we had before the colonial period. Over to you, Kushal.
Namaste to one and all. Before I delve into my topic, I would like to start with a simple question. What is pre-colonial period? Let me explain. The period which existed before the beginning of colonial rule is pre-colonial period. India in the pre-colonial period had a stable economy. Self-sufficient agriculture, flourishing trade and rich handicraft industries were some of the features of the Indian economy. The pre-colonial period existed before 1858, that is before the British stepped inside our Indian subcontinent. In fact, there is enough evidence to show that Indians knew weaving some 1500 years before Christ, when the Europeans were still covering themselves with animal skins. The fine Dhaka muslin was envy of the world for centuries. The iron and steel industries was quite developed, which is evident from the iron columns near Qutub Minar in Delhi, which are standing tall even today after being exposed to sun, rain and weathering for so many years. It is believed that the famous swords of Damascus were made from the steel imported from India. In addition to cotton textiles and steel industries, we had wood, stone and ivory carvings, silk textiles, pottery, bronze, brass, copper and iron works, dyeing and calico printing, which were famous throughout the world. Before the rise of the British Empire, India was known for its rich handicraft industry, which enjoyed worldwide demand and was growing steadily. Our craftsmanship was welcomed in all parts of the world. Articles made up of wool, cotton and silk were famous both inside and outside the country's boundary. Agriculture operations were carried on in India by subsistence farmers organized in small village communities. Villages were more or less a self-sufficient economic unit, and its business contact with the outside world were limited to payment of land revenue. The farmers raised only those crops which he needed for his own use and shared the excess with the village artisans who supplied them with simple manufactured things that the farmers needed. But this, unfortunately, changed when the Britishers entered our India. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Kushal, for giving your valuable inputs. Now we have Sanjana Devi, who will take us further.
Namaste to all my friends. The colonial period is the period in which we were ruled by the British, and this is evident in the control of our industries too. The main industrial centers in India were the port cities of Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai to facilitate imports and exports. During the colonial period, traditional handicrafts and Indian industries were very famous. History is full of information that India was an established nation dealing with textiles, spices, metals and many more. But these industries were completely destroyed by the Britishers since they followed the policy of deindustrialization. The traditional handicrafts in India were world famous, but the Britishers tried to control them by putting tariff on them. Along with this, Indian industries also suffered and Indian textiles were also suffered because our markets were flooded with cheap machine-made goods from Manchester. With the introduction of railways in India, these industrial goods were made available to every nook and corner of our country. This slowly led to the decline in traditional handicrafts and Indian industries. There was a scarcity of heavy industry which led to further decline in Indian industries. In the long run, many workers and craftsmen had no jobs and so they were suffering from unemployment. Taking advantage of this situation, the Britishers started giving up job opportunities to our Indians in their tea, coffee and jute industries. Just before the World War I in 1914, woolen textiles, paper and weaveries industries also developed along with cotton and jute mill. Due to the great demand for Indian industrial goods, the cotton textiles in India made rapid strides. In fact, India became the fourth largest country in the world after USA, UK and Japan in cotton manufacturing. While our industries had prospered during the First World War, the Second World War created problems for us since we became an active participant in the war. However, the impact was short-lived and we recovered very soon. The post-World War also saw a decline in demands and India was worst affected by the partition because 40% of our cotton output and 80% of jute went to Pakistan. But fortunately, we retained most of our basic industries. Thus, we can conclude that our industries were completely controlled by the British and after they left India, we had a long way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjana. It was really enlightening. Once the Britishers left India, we had to build our entire economy again. Let's get to know it from Subhashri.
Namaste everyone. Let us continue the journey of our industries. Independent bodies of not just individual but also economic, social and political freedom. Reflecting on what shaped economic policy and transition to millennial India Today, I, K. Subhashri of class 10A, have come here to share my views on the topic post-independence industries. In post-independence era, Indian industries played a vital role in development of Indian economy. The Industrial Policy Resolution 1948 was breakthrough in the series. It liberalized the industry policy itself and deregulated the industrial sector substantially. During many decades after independence, India was largely an agrarian economy. But for any economy to be globally successful, it needs a strong industrial sector. So on the first 7 5-year plans, India actively participated in the development of industries through industry policy formation. But just after independence, India's industrial sector was very poor. It contributed only 11.8% to the national GDP. We were also technologically backward. We had only 2 established industries, cotton and jute. So it greatly emphasized and variety and increase of industries in our India. And also government made the industrial policies accordingly. One of the biggest hurdles in making industrial development in India was lack of capital. Private industrialists did not have enough capital to build new industries, and even if they did, the risk was too high. In 1940, it was decided the state would play the primary role in developing these industries and promoting these industries. And also, it would have the absolute and complete control over all the industries that were vital for the economy and needs of the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Subha. It was indeed a Herculean task for India. Where do we stand today? Let's get to a note from our last speaker, Veda Harish.
Very good morning to all. The pace at which time is changing, so are the industries in India. Robotics, artificial intelligence, automobile industries are growing very fast in India. The products of these industries have a great demand in the world. India has a big market for all types of products, which has led to the emergence of many industries. After the 1850s, cotton mills were established in Mumbai by Indian entrepreneurs, and British jute mills were established in outskirts of Kolkata in Risra. This marked the beginning of modern industrial development. 5-year plans were started for the development of nation after independence, which have taken care for the development of industries. The 12th 5-year plan emphasized on modernization and technology upgradation. IT industries emerged in India in 1974. It gave many opportunities to the youngsters. Industrialization takes place in every moment of our time. Every industry has a specific role in this development. Human brains were working faster than their body. The softwares, machines, robots have reduced the work done by man. The economic strength of a nation is determined by the development of its industries. Today, India is one among the top 10 industrial nations of the world. Industrial development has changed India's economic status from underdeveloped to developing country. Industrial development in today is considered as prerequisite for modern economic development. That is why all the countries, whether big or small, rich or poor, and developed or developing, are channelizing their resources for rapid industrialization. Thus, I conclude by saying that Indian industries have made a tremendous progress during the 5-year plans. There has been a substantial development in the basic and key industries and an impressive growth in the mineral and energy resources. Thank you.
Wow, it was really encouraging and motivating. Thank you, Veda Harish. So, my dear friends, we saw an interesting journey of how our industries are thriving in the past, went through a lull during colonial period, and picked up post-independence. India's extremely fast-growing economy hasn't halted even during this pandemic situation. Many companies and industries have found a way to thrive, and it is giving hope to the government. On the lines of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, our Prime Minister has announced a package of 20 lakh crore rupees. So, my dear friends, let's all work together towards making India a powerful nation. Jai Hind.
I find the concept of the show really avant-garde in that it turns on the light to the things we hardly know. Thanks to the speakers.
Isn't it time to feast our eyes? Let me call upon our dancers for a contemporary style western dance for a patriotic song. And the dancers are R. R. Varnika of class 11, N. K. Priyavarshika of class 10,
P. Sanjana Devi of class 10, A. N. Lakshana of class 8.
मेरे वतन ऐ वतन आबाद रहे तू आबाद रहे तू मेरी ज़मीं महबूब मेरी मेरी नस नस में तेरा इश्क बहे फीका न पड़े कभी रंग तेरा जिस्मों से निकल के खून कहे तेरी मिट्टी में मिल जावा गुल बन के मैं खिल जावा इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू तेरी नदियों में बह जावा तेरे खेतों में लहरावा इतनी सी है दिल की आरज़ू बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तान सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तान
चाहे ना हमको ये ज़माना चाहो तो हमको आसमाना प्यारबाज हम शानसाज हम इश्कबाज दिलवाले कहते हैं हमको प्यार से इंडिया वाले छूटे पीछे तार से इंडिया वाले छीन ले हार से इंडिया वाले दुश्मन के छक्के छुड़ा दे हम इंडिया वाले उंगली पे सबको नचा दे हम इंडिया वाले बोले अब तो यारा अपना जहां है सबसे प्यारा आओ हम मिलके बोले अब तो यारा अपना जहां है सबसे प्यारा
हमने कहा है जो तुमसे कहो
Thank you, girls.
I would like to call Suryanshu Singh of class 12A to give the vote of thanks.
On behalf of DAV BHL School and the entire fraternity of the organization, first of all, I, Suryanshu Singh of class 12, wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to today's eminent speaker, Shri Atul Nandya, Joint Secretary, Tamil Nadu Arya Samaj Educational Society, Chennai, and Financial Controller, DAV BHL School, Ranipet, for your insightful address. Sir, we are all inspired by your great words. I sincerely thank our chief guest, Shri M.V.S.N. Raju, AGM, Head HR, BHEL BAP Ranipet, who spent his busiest time gracing the occasion. Today, we had the opportunity to listen to your thoughts that gave us a new sense of enthusiasm. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our principal, Shri M. Karupaya, for the support and guidance he has been extending to all of us in all the spheres. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank our headmistress, event in charges, and loving teachers for their untiring efforts. We would also like to thank the participants of today's events who have defied the pandemic in the best possible and the most enthralling and patriotic way. Finally, I would like to thank all the supporting staff. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind.
Now, let us together take a pledge to protect the peace and unity of our nation on this Republic Day of our great nation. Hereupon, I call our students for the pledge.
Attention! Pledge! India is my country.
India is my country.
All Indians are my brothers and sisters.
All Indians are brothers and sisters.
I love my country.
I love my country.
And I am proud of its rich and varied heritage.
Rich and varied heritage.
I shall always strive to be worthy of it. I shall give my parents, teachers, and all elders respect and treat everyone with courtesy. To my country, and my people, I pledge my devotion. In their well-being, prosperity alone, rise my happiness. Order.
Thank you, friends.
When all is well, then the end is well too. Now, will everyone raise for our national anthem? Let us have our singers to sing the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. Jai Hind.